Hi everyone, this is Sabrina. I'm here with hopefully a quick little project share. I'm actually so behind in everything. I'm rather annoyed with myself right now, but I keep one step at a time. I keep moving forward one step at a time so I can, get myself organized. Anyway, these are some what I call spiky star bows. And I really like the way these bows came out. So I decided to make a bunch of them. I'm gonna gift them and I'm gonna use them on a few things. I got the inspiration. I got the inspiration for these bows on Pinterest. I mentioned in another video that lately I've been trying to I'm more and more on Pinterest than anything else lately. This way, if I see something that I like, I want to try to come into my craft area and come up with something myself before I actually look up a tutorial or if someone else has done it. So this was the picture. I don't know if you can see it. It's a spiker bow tutorial, and these are all over the place using ribbon. So I saw the picture, and I just got a quick thought in my head to see if I could do it with paper, and I did, and I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with the way. I think they're so pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to quickly run through my process. I didn't look up a video. I don't know. I hadn't really seen these. I know they look a little bit different, but that's why I like them. So I didn't look up a video. I just came in the back and kind of worked with different dimensions, and I'm gonna go through that process. I started cutting tails on some of them, but I don't like it that way. I like them better without the tails cut. I like them better like this. Okay, so all right, you'll need, or rather I used 5 strips of paper, 3 larger and 2 smaller. And I'm going to put in the description box the dimensions of these strips of paper, because I did it, I did a large, a medium. Oh, can you see it? I did a large, a medium, and then a very small one. And I did that for a reason as well. So for the large one, you need 3 strips of paper cut at 6 by 2. And then the 2 smaller papers are 4.5 by 2. These are already folded and prepped to go, but the medium, you would need 3 strips of 4 by 1.5. 3 strips of 4 by 1.5, and 2 smaller strips of 2.5 by 1.5. And I don't think I didn't bring, for the teeny tiny ones, the dimensions, the strips of paper, you would need 3 strips of 3 inches. So the larger strip would be 3 inches by 1, and then the smaller strip would be 2 inches by 1. And that's for the smaller bow. And again, if you're interested, I'll put the dimensions in the description box, or I'll have them flash across the screen in this video. I'm only going to try to put together one of the large ones just to show my process. So after cutting the strips, I score them. You do not have to score them. You can fold these. So if you were going to fold them, you would fold it in half, covering the section that you want. Especially if you're using double-sided paper, you would fold it in half, covering the side you want to see, and then you would fold in half down, and then the other side half down. So you end up with this. You fold it in half, and I ripped my paper. Let me get this. So you have your strip, you fold it in half, hold it in half back, and then the other side you fold down. Kind of the hills and valleys thing, very simple. For me, I like to score it. I just, it's easier for me to fold, and I can find, I already did the work of finding the dimensions. I like finding that halfway mark a little bit. It's a little bit more precise for me. So I score for this large one, I score at every ½ inch, because it's, what did I say this was? 3 inches. So it's at ½ inch, 1 inch, and 1.5. And I do that for each of the strips. ½ inch, 1 inch, 1.5. And then for the 2 smaller strips, because they are the same, I guess, I don't know, height, that 2-inch mark, it's the same thing. So say 2 inches or 3 inches. It's 2 inches, so every ½ inch. For the medium, you would do the same thing, except I'm going to show you. For the medium papers, again, you would do the same thing. You would fold it in half and then go half back and then down. However, I have a second set of scoring dimensions, which again, I'll flash across the screen. If you look here, you can score it closer to the middle and make this a tiny bit higher as compared to this one here. See, these here are a little bit higher than this here. It's not a huge difference. I prefer the flatter one, but this just gives it a little bit more height if you wanted it a little bit more dimensional. When you fold it, so this is the one where it's folded every, this is medium, so it's folded, where you fold it in half and then half back. This one, I changed the dimensions just a little bit, and if you see like the point of what I call the M, this is a little bit higher up, so the sides are a little bit longer as compared to this one. And it just gives it a little bit more height. I prefer these, but I made some of these for another purpose. So again, as I'm doing the video, when I edit the video, I'll flash the dimensions for this one as well as this one. Okay, so I've scored all of my papers. This is the side that I want shown, so it just makes it easier for me to fold when I score it. And you just fold all of them. I forget to chit chat because I get so focused on trying to do the project. Okay, so I also fold them in half. I forgot my scoring tool, not my scoring tool, my bone folder. I fold these in half. The other purpose for me doing all of this folding first is that when I cut the edges, it just helps me again find my center of the paper a little bit easier. I'm not very good at doing things straight, and I prefer, you know, more uniform and straight edges, so this helps me find my center a little bit better. So all of these, I'm just folding them in half. I forgot to bring my bone folder to the table, so, you know, you would use your bone folder to crease. Okay, so this is what you end up with. You have 3 larger ones and 2 smaller ones. So then I cut like little banners. So you probably can't see in the camera, but I can see my score lines. I fold it in half, and then I just do my little triangle as if I'm making a banner. And I'm going to show you a second way to cut these as well. So there's my banner, and then I just take each one and kind of line it up. Again, that's just my own little way of trying to keep it a little bit more uniform, because I struggle. So I wasn't even watching to see if I was staying in frame, sorry. Oh, all right, hold on. Okay, see, like little banners. Then do the same exact thing on the smaller ones. Cut until that center score line. Just do my little triangles. Okay. Now, I also cut these a different way. So that's the first way I cut them, and if you see the edges here, that's cutting the banner. So that's those little spike edges. This one, if you look, it just gives you an extra spike. So rather than just the 1 and 2, when I cut it this way, I have 1, 2, 3 spikes on each paper. And I did that. Let's see. So after, when you fold it, I hope this makes sense because I feel like I'm all over the place. But when you have your strip and you do your folds, rather than cutting the banner, which I just did here, keep it folded and just cut your little triangle here. Make sure your M, you know, is facing down. And then you just cut your corners. One here, I flip it around, cut my corner from the top here. So see, you have the extra spike. And I think I'm liking this as well. I like them both. You know, it's a very small, it's a minor detail, a very minor detail. But I think I like, you know, the extra little spike. Like I said, very, very small detail. It's just about preference. So, okay, now to continue. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself together. Okay, so now, did I not bring my pokey tool? I did not. 1 second. I do not have an awl, AWL awl. I'm probably gonna get one for poking holes. So these are my 3 strips, my 3 larger strips. What I do with this? Ooh, see how I craft? This is why. This is why I don't do tutorials. Is that this? That's not this. I lost my other paper. Oh my goodness. All right. Here we go. So these are the 3. And it's actually, this is the 3 that's the bottom, and these are the 3 that are on top. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit. So where I fold this in half here, I use that, again, just as my center point, and then I poke 2 holes on either side of that little fold, like I'm making kind of like a buttonhole. And I try to stay as close to the center as possible, because I found that the further I moved away, when I'm manipulating the paper, I was ripping the paper. So I just poke 2 holes. I don't know if you could see it. It didn't go all the way through. All right, do I have one prepared? I don't have one prepared. All right, so I'm gonna move away from this section because I actually have a cork board that this works better on, and I'm going to poke, I'm gonna quickly poke my holes. I don't know if you can see it at all. So I'm gonna do these on my cork board because it worked out a little bit quicker and easier for me. Okay, I'm back from poking holes. I poked 2 holes on either side of my fold. Then I got 2 pieces of tulle, and I'm not very precise with the tulle. I pretty much just cut, you know, a length to match the length. And these 2 pieces of tulle are gonna go in between these 3 pieces, 1, 2. And I'm going to sew them together. I like sewing it better because I just feel like I feel like the thread, the sewing, actually makes it more secure, and I can still manipulate the paper. I'm not ripping it, I'm not pulling glue. And it still stays secure. You make sure, of course, that they're all facing in the same, that the M is facing in that down direction. Okay. I might have to edit some of this out so that the video doesn't just drag on. With this tool, I'm pretty much repeating that same type of fold. Fold it in half, kind of hold it in the middle, fold down, and then hold. So you have the general, you know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not precise with the tool, just that you have that general shape. Okay. I pull my thread through, and I have to leave a bit of a tail so that I can tie it at the end. So I just leave a tail. I kind of hold it to the side because when I was first making them, that tail would get tangled up and I was making a mess. So I'm probably going to move out of frame a little bit so that I can put this needle through, going back in the other direction. It's literally like sewing a button, like buttonholes. So I went in through the front and then around through the back. You can see my tool is coming out, so I need to move that. You gotta, it's a little bit fidgety, just a little bit, because you have to hold them together. I'm trying to move this tail out of the way. And I go through about 3 or 4 times. Like I said, I would like for it to be secure. And I don't want to deliberately move out of frame. However, I can't see. Okay. And of course, there are other ways to adhere. If you try this and you want to glue it, you know. What is May made it always say, you do you. But it's true, you do you. This was just my process. This was me coming into the craft room and kind of playing around for a little bit, trying to get, I wanted a bow, but I just wanted something a little bit different than the same, you know, the same bows I kind of see. Yeah, I can't do this very well on camera. It does not, it goes a lot smoother when I have it like right under my nose. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop here. I normally do it, like I said, I go, you know, in and out, back and forth about 4 times, just to make sure that it's really secure. I didn't do it that many times right now. I'm tying my knot here, again, just to secure, and I do that about 3 times. I don't like for anything to fall apart. And then snip the extra off. This is what you end up with. I fidget with this a little bit, so I move my tool towards the top. Now, I didn't cut my tool originally. I normally wait until it's in there, and then again, like I said, I'm not very precise. I just go to the very edge and kind of cut a little bit of a corner on either side of that tool. Now after, you have to make sure that it's pulled and it's sewn tightly, because then you can manipulate the paper a lot better. I like this because I like that it's 3 strips, and as I did in the other ones, you can change the strips of paper. So I started using the glitter paper, and then I started using like coordinating different papers. I have one in the works. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. One in the works using felt. So the idea, the variations are endless, because you can do it with paper and ribbon. You can get 1 or 2 strips of ribbon or 1 strip of ribbon in the middle, just mixing and matching. So then that's the bottom. For these 2 on top, the same thing. I get a piece of tulle, the length, fold in half, fold back, in half, back, and then that 1 piece of tulle will be in the middle of these 2 strips of paper, and I'm going to remove myself from the camera so that I can sew it a little bit more quickly and efficiently. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. This is the way it should look when you're sewing. It's a very smooth process. It's as you're holding together and the holes are lined up, you just go in to the front, go around the back, and back up. And just do this enough times. I do it 4 times. I do it about 4 times. Like I said, it's literally like as if you were sewing a button. And I pull it very taut to keep it secure. And you take your 2, you have the 1 tail and then the part you were sewing with, and just tie a knot. So I tie it 3 times for good measure. And then snip off the extra. Okay, I pull my tool to the top. And then I'm able to, this one, see, you can tell this one is sewn so much more better. I was trying to rush with the other one, but it's tight. So you can wiggle them around, you can move, you're able to fuss with the paper and manipulate the paper, you know, to get it spread out to your liking. So I kind of just mess around with the paper a little bit. There. So this is the 2 with the 1 piece of tulle, and then the 3 with the 2 pieces of tulle. This is the top and this is the bottom, and we're gonna adhere those. I got a 3/4 inch circle, they can be adhered like this because ribbon is going to go around the middle. However, again, this is my process. I do things that work the easiest, the smoothest, and most efficient for me. So this little 1/4 inch, and my glue gun is on the other table, so I'm going to get up and go over there. But I glue this here and then glue that on top. And I'm going to go step away and do that. Okay, so I've hot glued that together, and again, now I can just manipulate it, you know, spread it out if I want it to look like a, you know, wider star, or squish them together if you want it more, if I want it more compact. And it's so cute. At this point, this is where, so you see it's 1, 2, 3 strips of paper. This bottom one, the fold, I was cutting along that fold on either side of the bottom portion of the bow, and the bottom strip. I was cutting along that perforated edge to create a tail. And it's kind of cute on the smaller ones, but again, like I said, my preference is just to leave it as it is. Okay, so after adhering the smaller ones to the larger ones, I got some ribbon and wrapped around, let's see, about 3 times. Notice I like the number 3, I guess. Well, it's actually 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and then the other way. And again, tie it very taut. And, you know, depending on the paper that you're using, even with lighter weight paper, I was still able to tie it pretty tight because of all of the layers. And then make a bow. Fidget with your bow, you know. I mess with it until I get it to where I want it. Snip off the edges. How cute is that? I think this is so cute. I think this is so cute. And after that, embellish. I embellished with whatever I decided. So here I used the flower and I just adhered it on top of the bow with some E6000. This one, I think, this one is one of my favorites. I don't know which one is my favorite. I love these little candy resin pieces that I found when we were in South Carolina. So use that one there. This one, I love the colors. I love how the glitter paper, you know, I like the sparkle and the shine. And then this piece here was out of, I have been using, I took another page out of Ida Martinez's book, my embellishment boxes, but that's exactly what they're there for. And I have this one box. It was my first swap and I received 3 boxes. So I just pulled out one of the boxes and I believe it's from, I don't remember her name, but it's I Heart Crafts. And I can't remember her name right now, I'm so sorry. But her box is sitting on my table, so I keep going in there and finding bits and pieces. This is from that embellishment box. This here was a button, I just cut off the back. These are what I'm using. I use these as little embellishment. These were from the earrings that I found at Walmart. I like these. And I have someone in mind. I'm going to gift these. Like I said, I'm annoyingly behind. I'm actually behind on a one-on-one swap. And if you're watching, you know who you are. My kind and patient friend. I am working hard to make it worth your wait. So I appreciate your patience with me. This here. Oh look, I cut the tails upside down. Ha, that's funny. This piece here is also out of that embellishment box from I Heart Crafts. I really hope I'm saying the name right. I apologize if I'm not. This here is a snowflake. And then these are those sparkly, like, candy gumdrops. So that's my little share. I'm using these. I can't show you yet what I'm using them on because, like I said, I'm working on something. But I'll come back and I'll show, you know, how I'm actually using these embellishments. Comment below. Let me know what you think. I like hearing what you guys, you know, have to say. Which one is your favorite? They're not all on camera. I thought I was in frame. Which is your favorite one? My husband, I always ask my husband, and say, I know you don't care about this stuff, but he's so patient and good to me. So He likes this size. He likes the medium size. He thinks that they're more versatile. I agree. I like doing the smaller ones because these can fit on tags and other small, even on a card. So I like doing the teeny tiny. However, I like these to put on gift boxes and on gift bags. So I'm very pleased with how they came out. If you try them, let me know. I would like to see what you come up with. I know we always build off of each other, so I would appreciate seeing if you guys make them if you're interested at all. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.